All right, so the first thing that I want to do, that I want you all to do, is take your own personal measurements. I want you to start at your high shoulder and measure all the way down to the floor. And I want you to subtract 15 inches from that. And that's where you're gonna come up with the main fabric for your dress. All right, so from your high shoulder all the way down to the floor, whatever that measurement is, minus out 15 inches and cut two pieces of fabric that length. Now for me, that measurement is 45 inches. So I'm going to take, I'm going to cut out two squares, the width of my fabric, and the length is going to be 45. Okay. So what I'm going to be showing you here is I'm going to, before you cut on your fabric, I'm going to demonstrate the measurements and the cutouts that you're going to need to achieve the look of this dress. All right. So here I have the two pieces of paper, which are going to serve as my front and my back. And just to let you know, we're going to be cutting the front and the back the exact same. All right. So again, I've taken my measurement from my high shoulder all the way to the floor. I've subtracted 15 inches, and that's what's going to leave me with the main part of my dress without the ruffles. Okay. And these two pieces of paper is just going to, I'm just going to demonstrate on them as if this was my dress. Okay. Now, the first thing that I want you to do when you get your fabric and you've cut it to your length, go ahead and cut your salvaged edges off. All right. So your salvage edges are normally, they're kind of fray. You just don't need your salvage edges. So go ahead and cut those off. All right. Next thing that I want you to do is fold your fabric in half, and I want you to press a crease in it. All right. Because we're going to be using that crease as a guideline. So go ahead, after you've cut your selvage edges off, go ahead and fold your fabric in half and press a crease down the middle. It doesn't have to go all the way down, maybe about 10 inches, because we're going to be using that crease as a guide. Actually, this crease is going to serve as your center front and center back lines. All right. All right. So the measurements that I talk about in here that I'm going to apply to these two pieces of paper, you're going to carry those measurements over to your fabric. All right. So the first measurement that we're going to take is, I want you to, and one more thing too, go ahead and pin the sides of your fabric, pin both sides of your fabric and the top. And just so you can get a visual of this, this is going to be your side seams. These are going to be your side seam here, side seam there, and this is going to be the top of your dress, and then this is going to be your center front and your center back, because we're going to be cutting the center front and center back the exact same. All right, so the first measurement that you're going to be taking is to start here and measure down 12 inches. All right, measure down 12 inches. And this is going to be our pocket placement. So from here, 12 inches down, I want you to actually, in your fabric, take and put a little snip. Cut a little snip right there on each side. And this is going to be your pocket placement. All right. Now, and then remember, anything that I do on this side, I'm going to do it to this side. All right. So from here down here, 12 inches, it's going to be your pocket placement. From this point, measure 6 inches down. That's going to be your armhole placement. Okay? Armhole. And armhole. All right. Now the next measurement that you need to take is from this point, measure 3 inches over and just put a mark. Again, over on this side, measuring 3 inches and place a mark. Okay. So you see how that looks? And then I'll just go over that one more time. From this point, measure down 12 inches. That's going to be your pocket placement. Do the exact same thing on this side. From this point, measure 6 inches down. That's going to be your armhole placement. Now, Your armhole placement is a little optional. Initially, when I made this dress, I did from this point 8 inches down, and that was a lot of side boob. So that's the reason why I went up 2 inches and decided to make it 6 inches. You may want to do 4 inches. I think between 4 and 6 inches is a safe zone where if you don't want to show a lot of side boob or whichever, because you may want to wear this dress without a bra. All right. So the next mark we're going to make, so after you've made this mark, I want you to go over a 1/2 inch and make another mark. Same thing on the other side. From this mark, a 1/2 inch over, make another mark. All right. Now remember this crease that you made, this is your center front and your center back. Again, we're going to be making the front and the back the same. They're going to be cut out exactly the same. So since we're looking at the front, we're just going to name this the center front. Now your center front, I want you to start at your center front line and I want you to measure down 5 inches. And I think that's a safe zone. What the 5 inches is that's going to be your neckline, how low your neckline is going to be. If you want it higher than that, maybe go up 1 inch or 2 or 3 inches, whatever suits you. But if you notice in the picture, the dress that I made, the yellow dress that I made, that's 5 inches. And I think that's a safe zone because I consider myself a little top heavy, so it's a safe zone. It shows a little bit of cleavage, but not too much. But again, if you want to go higher, if you want to wear a bra with this dress, you may want to, and you're a little top heavy, you may want to go maybe 1 inch or 2 higher. But I think again 5 inches is safe. So from your center front, measure 5 inches down, and that's going to be the length of your neckline. All right. So so we're done with marking up your fabric. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to connect the lines. We need to connect everything here. All right. So the first mark that you made up here, what I want you to do is I want you to connect that with your armhole. So for now, it's just a straight line. It's just a straight line. And then I want you to do the exact same thing over here. Straight line. All right. All right. Now for this line right here, what I want you to do is I want you to just come down and then just give it a little curve right there. And that's going to be your cutting line. Just give it a little curve and then do the exact same thing over here. Just give it a little curve. All right. And that's going to be your cut line. All right. Next thing you want to do is this second mark that you made right here, a 1/2 inch over. I want you to connect all of this. I want you to connect all of this, and that's going to be your neckline. You can use a ruler or you can freehand it. All right. So what I did is I just freehanded it. Make sure you keep that little curve down there. All right. And this is basically, well, this is the template for your dress. Now the next thing you need to do is cut this out. So we're going to be cutting, these are our cutting lines. We're going to cut here to here, and then we're going to come over that 1/2 inch and we're going to cut here all the way up to here. Leave that 1/2 inch out and then cut from here, and then that'll be the template for your dress. So let me go ahead and cut this out. And then let's go ahead and cut the neckline out. Remember, go over and stay over that 1/2 inch and cut that neckline out. All right, so here's your dress. This is your dress template. All right, so after you've applied the measurements that I went over to demonstrate on these two pieces of paper. Apply those exact same measurements to your fabric. And again, your pocket placement, what I want you to do is just go ahead and put a little cut right here on each side, and that's just so we know where we need to place our pockets. Now, as far as our pockets are concerned, go ahead and grab a pocket from any pattern skirt, and you can use it for this, because that's what I'm going to do. All right, so again, here is your template for your dress. Now, once you've applied those measurements and you've cut it out on your fabric, what I want you to do is either edge stitch, or with your serger, I want you to serge. I want you to take your front piece and I want you to serge all the way around this whole dress. Serge all the way around. Serge around your side seams, the bottom, serge around your neckline. Do the same thing for your back piece. Serge around your side seams, the bottom, side seam, and your neckline. All right? So, I'm going to go ahead and cut my dress out using the exact same measurements, and then we'll start to sew.